Hello everyone, welcome back to Glitz and Glitter. So today I'm going to try to replicate something I saw on a Facebook group the other day. So I'm scrolling through Facebook and I saw somebody post a picture that caught my attention, so I stopped. I don't know what group it was. It wasn't my group. It was another random resin group, and they were looking for a tutorial on how to create what I'm going to create today. So I don't even know who you were, but hopefully you watch my channel and you will get to see the tutorial. So I got out these wine goblets. I have two of them. I bought these a long time ago at a garage sale thinking I was going to do something with resin with them. Well, a year later, finally, I'm going to get to use them. And what they saw was like a little planter with resin, but it was a beach scene planter, and they had succulents. Not succulents, but air plants. And I tried to find a real air plant and I couldn't find one, but I got the next best thing. These were at Walmart. And this is called succulent vase filler. They're plastic, I know, but if you want to do this at home, you can get a real one and put it on the top. So that's where it's going to go anyway. So what I've been doing, I've been messing around with these, seeing if I can get it to work before I got everything out. And all I did is I took some of my big shells that I had laying around, these things, and I took E6000 glue, stuck it in the shell, and I put the little, I'm going to call it air plant, but it's a succulent, I guess, and I'm waiting for it to dry. So I did several of them. And they're all still wet, so I just took some small ones, put them in here. I tried UV resin, didn't work so well, so I have to wait for these to dry, and I may go around it with UV resin just to hold it in for sure, but this needs to, so I've done several of them because I don't know which ones I'm going to use. So I'm going to do two of them because I have two wine goblets, and I'm going to do them with different things inside. So I pulled out a sand filler, and I also pulled out a crushed shell that I have in here. So we're gonna do like two different looks. So a sandy beach, and maybe I'll do two different colors, maybe a turquoise and then a blue in one or the other, I don't know. But all I know, it was so cute, and this would make such a cute gift if you don't know what to bring somebody when they're done. And it's forever, like they don't have to water it or anything. So I got all the seashells out that I have, starfish, pearls, things like that. So I'm going to mix together, I don't know how much this is going to hold because I'm going to put sand and shell at the bottom. I'm going to say 4 ounces each maybe. I only want it like halfway full, like up to here. I should have measured this. This is easy to measure with water. I'm going to go measure with the water and get some resin mixed up, and then we're going to start. This is probably a really quick tutorial because I think it's going to be really simple and easy to put together. I was going to use my brand new hands-free Let's Resin mixer today on today's video, and then I realized when I pulled it out of the box to use it, it wasn't charged. So it's over here next to me charging. So I'm going to have to do that on the next one. You guys have probably already seen the unboxing on several channels of it, so I'm not going to go into great depth on it, but I will show you the cool features when I do use it. So I'm excited to use it, but it is not charged and ready to go. So each glass is bigger than I thought, and it's holding 8 to 12 ounces where it really holds 12 where I would want it. I mixed up 8 because I'm going to see that where that gets me with the sand and the shell. So I'm going to save some clear and mix that with the sand and shell. So let's get my color mixed up. I think the first one I'm going to do is blue. This is the one I say I'm almost out of, and it's still giving me a couple of drips. So I want it very light because I want to be able to see it. So let's start with 2 drops, and then I'm going to throw this through the vacuum chamber while we mess around with the bottom portion. So I'm just going to put my color in. This is really thick. This is the 4-hour fast cure. So I'm hoping. And I did test these cups. I put boiling water in them because I did not want it to bust apart while it was curing, because you know it gets hot while it cures. So if you're going to do this, test your glassware to make sure it's not going to break. So I'm just looking at the color, and I think that's good. It's really, really light. I'm just going to throw this over in the vacuum chamber, and then we're going to mix that up. Alright, so I've got this ready to go. We're just going to let it sit here. Now I'm going to add, I think I'm going to add shell to my cup first. I'm going to try to be careful, and I don't want to get the resin on the sides, because then I have to reach in and start to try to clean it. So I don't know what the best way to do this is, if we should mix this up outside of the glass or inside the glass. So I'm going to do one glass at a time, since that's how I mix the resin, and we'll see which way is the easiest. So that looks pretty good. I'm just going to pour this in. I don't know how much we need, and mix it in here. And that seems to work good. Trying to keep it in place as best I can. And then the next one, I pulled out turquoise, and we'll do turquoise with sand if this one seems to be working. That's pretty much covered. And then what I wanted to do was get a clear layer on before I pour in the blue. And that's partially why I used 4-hour cure, so it's thicker, and hopefully it, oh shoot, I just got it on my glass. See, that's what I didn't want to do. So now I'm going to have to figure out how to keep this clean. I guess I'm going to get it done and then clean it, because I'm sure that's not the first time that's going to happen. So let's just put the rest of the clear in, and then I'm going to lay some seashells in there and whatever else I want, and pour the blue on top. I don't know, I think this is pretty simple. Other than keeping the glass clean, I see is going to be a challenge. Once it's cured on there, well, it might pop off, but then you also have the chance of busting your glass. So let me move something out of my way here. So I got some on the outside here. Let me grab some alcohol, because I don't want it curing at all. Whoops. This is challenging. I thought this was going to be super simple, but keeping it clean, that's the hard part. All right, I'm going to put a bunch of shells and stuff. So I have these little sea biscuits that I bought a while ago. I bought a bunch of stuff a long time ago, and I haven't used a lot of it because a lot of it is really big for the projects that I'm using or that I'm making. Let me just grab, I want to push them down. These are going to create air bubbles, I know. Plus I didn't pull the air out of the clear, so let's spray it with some alcohol. And these are going to generate their own air coming out of them too, so be prepared. I'm just really going to just randomly put stuff in. All these shells that I bought a long time ago. Finally use them. Let's see, what else do I have? Some of these. Make sure they're the right side showing. I don't want the back sides showing. The fronts of these have a pearlescent tint to them. I bought these at a seaside shop down in Venice. And I should have pulled the air out. On the next one, I'm going to put my clear in the vacuum chamber for sure. How about some I don't know. This little guy is floating, and so are these. So I'm wondering if I needed to do this in layers. Because if I did, it's too late. I've got my blue already mixed. I know my pearls will not stay at the bottom, so I cannot use pearls. Got some other kinds of seashells in here. Yeah, I'm kicking myself now for not throwing that through the vacuum chamber. You could put as little or as many as you want. There's no right or wrong. I saw several different ones. That guy's going to give me a problem. I wonder if I can put this in the vacuum chamber. But I'm not going to test it. It would be terrible if it broke in there. That would be a mess. See, that might give me a problem. I might have to pull some of this stuff out. Could also, I should grab some abalone shell that I have. So the plants I'm going to do last. I'll probably glue it to the top of the resin, or if I can catch it on time, I will pop it in when it won't sink. This thing's full of air. I need that to fill up with resin. It is just so bubbly right there. I'm not happy with that. I think I'm going to wait a few minutes. I'm going to put you on a pause, wait a few minutes, let that rise before I pour this in, because I still have a little time. It's not quite warm yet, so I'm going to give this a few minutes. Guess what I did, you guys? I stuck it in the vacuum chamber just to see if it would work. I didn't video it. I should have. Man, there were millions of bubbles coming out of this thing, but it is so much better, so much better. And I had to push everything back down into place. And I know all of this will, like the heavy stuff is going to sink again because it all got kind of stirred up in there with all those bubbles going on. But if you're going to do this, definitely put your clear through your vacuum chamber first. I'm going to go ahead and pour the blue. And I'm sure it's going to mix together, but I just didn't want the blue in my sand. And then I'll have to pour everything back down. Or push everything back down again, I'm sure. And I want to see if the 8 ounces is going to be enough. All right. So that's a nice tinted blue color. I'm pretty happy with it. From the side, I'll have to show you later. I do have to push my stuff back down, and I'm sure I will have to babysit this for a while because I don't want things floating when I'm not looking. And the top plants I'm not going to put in until it's, like I said, either really tacky and solid. I'm going to keep spraying it with alcohol too. So that one looks pretty good. I just want to go around and clean anything my hands touched. And then I will mix up 8 more ounces, and we will do the other one with sand and see if it works better with the vacuum chamber first or if it's going to make a difference. I don't know. Just want to clean this inside here. Well, see how that's going to float? It's going to give me a problem. All right, I shall return with more resin. On this one, I was going to do 2 layers because I keep pushing these down on this other one, and I accidentally mixed up 8 ounces again. So I'm just going to do it. So I don't want to waste 4 ounces or have to make something else. I'm just learning what is going to float and what is not going to float. Every time I push them down in this other one though, they tend to stay down more. So this one here, I'm going to pour sand in the bottom. And I'm not going to put that extra layer of clear. And I'm going to put more alcohol ink because the other one is getting fairly light. So I am learning a few lessons by doing the first one, so maybe we can figure this out the best way without having to put my glass in a vacuum chamber. So I'm just going to put enough to coat the sand. Then the rest I will color, and the rest I will vacuum. Hopefully the sand that's on the sides will fall down when I pour the turquoise in. All right, so that looks good for that. Spray that one, spray that one. I need to push some things down. I'm either going to take them out so I don't have to stand here all night, or I don't know, I'm going to play it by ear, see how it goes, because these little light shells are the ones that keeps floating, but the heavy things are staying down now. Okay, so let me mix up. I hate touching this glass because I don't want to get resin all over it. Gonna get some turquoise in here. Again, more than 2 drops I'm gonna do, because once it gets in this larger cup, it seemed to disperse that color more. And I hope I don't lose the color altogether in the blue one. Gonna do a couple more, even though I think it looks good, but I thought it looked good for the other one too. I could always drop a blue in there, but I don't think I'm going to be able to mix it good with all that stuff in there. All right, I'm going to throw this in the vacuum chamber and start setting some stuff in there. So for this one, I think I'm just going to set some shells in here. If you guys do this, do it in 2 layers. That's my advice to you. Or use very, very heavy items that will sink for sure. Like, I don't have a lot of heavy, oh shoot. I don't have a lot of heavy shells because I don't do a lot of big stuff. But I'm gonna put the heaviest ones that I have in this particular project. This one is floating a lot in the other one. And I hope I don't lose these to the sand in this one. So I don't know. Could be a seashell thing as I'm over here pushing everything. I did take a lot of the little ones out of here because I got tired of fighting with them. So they're not going to be missed anyway. So let's get some other seashells and hopefully I don't lose them in the sand. Maybe this big one will stay. I'll try a starfish in here, but I don't think I'm gonna be lucky for him to not float. I don't know. Let me see. What do I got in this other? Okay, well, I don't know. This is why I am testing this project for you. Learn from my mistakes. I really want them to come out good though. I like these. These are really super cool. All right, let's pour. And hope they don't float. And they're floating. These ones are filled with air. So if maybe I can get these air bubbles out, they might go back down. So maybe I'll flip them over for a while so the air can escape. That one is stuck in the sand. That's good. All right, I'm just going to sit here and babysit. I'm going to clean off the inside. I got some resin in there. And I will hopefully catch this while it's tacky, and we'll do the top shells. So as I'm babysitting these, this one, I keep pushing things down. This one is like curing super fast because it's so deep and it's really hot and it's really sticky. So I'm going to go ahead and put these in. Because can you see, like, it's not doing anything. I think I need to heat it up to help. Get the wrinkles out. Or maybe not. Well, it's definitely not going to go under. So if there's a time to put them in, it is right now. And maybe I will put a few on top. Since they're not going to go under now, they're really, really curing quickly. And maybe I will put another layer of clear on it. I don't know. It depends how it looks. when it's done cooking. Just to hold these things in, just a really thin layer. And I keep pushing these down, but at one point it's going to get so hot that I won't be able to put this stick back in here. But I keep spraying it. This one's got a lot of bubbles. This one, not too many. Oops. It's only been 10 minutes since I shut the camera off. It's very hot. So I think I will just let this do its thing. Yeah, I can't even move that now. It's stuck forever. And mess around with this one while it's gonna let me, because I have 2 shells in this one that keep coming up. I'm not happy with all the bubbles, but it's too late to put this one in the vacuum chamber because it's gonna cure quickly. Once it starts and you can't stop it because it's so deep. And I didn't use deep pour. I used fast cure, which you're not supposed to do this deep. But I wasn't thinking about that when I did this project. I just wanted it to be thick so it didn't like combine. So you should really do this in 2 layers and not use fast cure resin. But since I don't have any more of these glasses, we're gonna go with what I'm doing here. But you will not have bubbles if you don't use the fast cure. I'll bet you any money. Use deep pour, use regular epoxy, and I bet you will not be fighting bubbles like I am. And it shouldn't cure as fast as that one did. So when that one cools down, I'm going to just pour a really thin layer just to get rid of the wrinkles on that from me messing around with it. This one I'm still pushing things down. This one I'm got 2 ounces of my normal regular epoxy mixed up, and I put it through the vacuum chamber, and I'm just going to pour it really slowly, just enough to cover this top layer and hold it all down and get rid of the wrinkles that I created. Not enough for anything to float, just enough, and I don't know how much I'll need. I just mixed up 2 ounces because I wasn't sure. Just till it reaches the edge of the cup. And I guess you can go over your seashells if you wanted to. Help them get coated. And I'll probably need the full 2 ounces, I'm guessing. And this will cure up much quicker because the resin underneath it is very hot. So this would be, what, 10 ounces then? I only have a little bit left, so I'm going to go ahead and put it in. Oh, I just went down the side. I was so good up until now. Is that the outside or the inside? That's the question. Oh, the inside where it's very difficult to clean. That's wonderful. All right. And this one I'm still spraying. It hasn't like gone off to a crazy temperature to stop it to cure really quickly like this one did yet. All right, I gotta clean this up, and yeah, this one will be done. This one is about solidified. I've been pushing that one down forever. So I got another glass out, it's smaller. I want to do it the way I think it should be done. So I'm going to do a third one today. But this one is ready to put these guys on top because it's not going to go under at this point. And then again, I will coat this one. This one's looking really good. This one got a bubble that actually let me pop it. It's really, really solidified. So let me put a few things on top while I can. And then I'm going to start the other one. And I'm going to use my local sand on the bottom of the next one. And I'm only going to mix the sand and the resin. I'm going to let that cure. And then, well, I'm going to mix the sand and the resin, and I'm going to put my seashells on it so they can cure down without, you know, floating the whole time. And hopefully I will find the proper way for you guys to do this without fighting with it. I didn't think it was going to be this difficult, but I also used the wrong resin. I'm not going to use the I'll use a 4 hour in the sand of the next one, but I'm not going to use it in the large layer because it just totally cures too fast. See, that's solid already. Nothing's going to stick to this without help now. So I'm going to put another 2 ounces on top of this one and get the resin mixed up for the next one. So I think I'm just going to mix up the resin at once. So I'm just going to use epoxy for the bottom of the other one. Well, not as easy as I thought it was going to be. Okay, I shall return. Okay, I've got 4 more ounces. This is my epoxy. I'm going to use it 2 ounces in there and the rest for the sand that I've already put the sand in here, but I don't think I'm going to mix it in the cup. I'm going to mix it in this cup. And this is going to cure. This one is completely done and cured already because the heat from the 4 hour just cured the epoxy on top of it. Now these will not be on eBay. I can't ship something like this, so sorry if you wanted them. I just don't know how I would get them to somebody in one piece. I'm just gonna move it to the edge. I guess I need a little more instead of messing up my sides. Maybe I'll just wiggle it. And there goes my starfish floating around. And pearls are in there. Everything else is stuck. And I'm contemplating doing this next one clear and see which one looks the best. I don't know yet. All right, so what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna set that aside. These are very, very hot. I can't believe, well, I did do a test with boiling water, so it shouldn't crack because I did the test on it. Just gonna, there's bubbles in it, but it's an underwater scene. What are you gonna do? Okay, I'm gonna pour my sand in here, get a stir stick, and mix it up and pour it back in. Now my beautiful white sand always turns color with resin, which stinks. That's why I don't use, this is crushed quartz, it's not really sand. And it always turns a color when I put resin in it, so that's why I don't use it that often. It's much more beautiful dry than it is wet. Okay, I'm just gonna pour this in, lay a few things in there. I don't know if I'm gonna use all of this. I think if I lay anything in here now, it's gonna sink, to be honest with ya. Let me try a large shell maybe. Because this sand is like baby powder. It's not like sand. So I think I'm gonna have to let this cure up for a little while before I can lay some things in here. See, I don't want it to fall through. So, okay, I'm just gonna let this sit. I got a little bit left, well, quite a bit left. I don't know what I can do with the sand, but I'll figure something out. And yeah, these are about done. There's a bubble right there I need to pop. There we go. Push that down. So I hope you learn lessons from me before you begin this project. Or if you have already done this project, let me know what your tricks and tips are. Okay, so where I'm at is it got tacky. I actually added sand to make it thicker so it would get tacky faster. And then I put all my pieces in. And it's about almost halfway up the cup. And then I poured the rest in here. These are going to be cool. So 2 keychains and 2 pendants. And I'm going to do like a UV resin wave and top coat with like a light blue or something. I don't know. They're almost cured. They're not quite there. I've mixed up 2 ounces of my fast cure. I put cerulean blue in this time, 2 drops, and my crushed crystal. That way you don't see the bubbles. So I'm getting smarter as we go. I'm just going to pour this in, and I'm probably going to miss my window on this one. And if I do, I'm just going to, I'm going to need more than 2 ounces, I think. I'll just glue my little shells with the plants in them on the top. I don't think, it's not really going to matter. I think 2 ounces is enough. So this one, of course, is taking longer, but this is the proper way, I think, to do it. Now I don't have to fight and babysit and watch it and squirt and, you know, this is just a much, much better way to do this. And I got a little resin right there. I'm trying to keep them as clean as humanly possible, so that looks really pretty. And I may or may not add an ounce or 2. I don't know. I'll think about it. You know how to do it. So I will see you in a little while. As soon as these are cured, I'll show you what I'm going to do. So I tested one to see if it would work, and it's going to kind of work. I did mix up another ounce and I put it in the glass, and I have a little left. So I grabbed my UV resin. I put some UV resin in here with a little bit of white pigment, and I took just a line, I'm going to go a little lower this time, a line of high viscosity UV resin in. And I put a little bit of white in it. I started a little higher so it covered the whole starfish in that one. I put a little white in there like that, and then I took a straw and I just blew it out. And I'm trying to cover these a little bit because I used broken ones on purpose, and I put the broken pieces of the starfish into the resin so you wouldn't notice, but I did want to be able to use the broken ones. So I'm just going to cure that. And once that's cured, I'm going to pour on the remaining blue from this project. So I should be able to get them all done before it gets too thick and tacky. So that's how I'm going to do those. And then I've got the heat mat on. I'm going to cure everything, and we will look at everything when they are completely finished. So as soon as this is done curing, I'll do the other 2 real quick, and then will go to break. So same thing for this one. We're going to do just a line just to give the white something that it can ride on. And then the little bit of white. You don't need a lot because white is very potent. Then use your straw. Just don't cure it until you're happy. You could take a torch to it and try to get some cells out of it. See what it looks like. Pretty good. I'm just going to cure it and get the blue on, and then those will be done until I put them all together. These are cured. I'm just going to throw the rest of the blue on. Hopefully I have enough for all of them. If not, I'll use UV resin. I might not have enough. Oh yeah, I do. Check that out. Perfect. The perfect amount to dome them all. A little bit of sparkle, a very slight hint of blue. And that's it. I'm gonna just let them cure. I'm gonna cover everything up and see you on demold. Well, my friends, they are finished, and I did finish these off. Here's the two pendants. Super cute. So I will put one with each keychain, and these will be the only things today that will be on eBay. So you will get a keychain and a pendant to match. So those came out really, really nice. Nice and sparkly, clear water, a little bit of a wave. So I'm not sure how to show you these because you're in a camera, but from a top view, here is this one. This is the blue that I used. It's pretty clear. There is some debris floating from the shell, but what are you gonna do? Bottom. I like them. Obviously they're mine because I can't ship them anywhere, so I gotta find a home for them. Here is the turquoise. Not quite as clear. A lot of the bubbles came from this sand because I took the bubbles out. Here's some bubbles that got suspended. That looks kind of cool. And here is a top view. Some pearls in there, but the bubbles actually, I like the bubbles in there. They look really neat. And then this one just finished. I just glued these on because I missed my window of opportunity. Here is the side view with the sparkle. This one has some suspended bubbles too. That looks really awesome. Never thought I'd say that. Here's the sand. I did put a pearl in. It dropped all the way to the bottom. And that's it. I will get some good pictures for you. I hope you learned your lesson. I didn't expect to do 3. I thought I was only going to do 2. I really was going to do 1. And then I'm like, I'm just going to do 2. And then I ended up doing 3. So anyway, guys, another packed video for you. Thanks for coming in. I hope you guys try them. If you do, put them on my Facebook group. I want to see them. And I will see you tomorrow. Everybody have a blessed day. Bye.